Now, for example, if this is the page wherein we are creating, now you want to provide an options, right? So for example, you want to provide some color combinations for your project, right? So how it should looks like. So this is a cloud web page we are creating, right? So here in, because majorly this is used, not majorly this is used. This is having an advantage where we can even given the color combinations also, because manually if you do all that, because it is difficult for us to provide so many color combinations or something which is difficult for us to cover. Instead of it, what we can do, whatever the application we have, for example, this cloud-based POS system application, right? So it's in web application we have taken. Now, if you want to update any kind of application bars or something, for example, right? So there is some application bar we have to provide, wherein we want to provide somewhere here. Okay? Somewhere here we want to provide. So now heading you have to, for example, um, services. I'm just writing some rough code. Okay. Please don't consider this as the final one. It's just for you to show, right, how that looks like, etc. So I hope you understood. Okay. This is, for example, for the services purpose. So whenever there is a drop down box we have created. So this is a drop down box which was created. You do remember that. So drop down box means advantage is that if you can click on the drop down box, what are the services you are going to provide, everything will be there. Okay, so you can choose any one of the service and you can perform it better. So that is one thing. Next, at the same time, if you want to create any kind of button, right? So some button you want to create, right? So you want to create some button, maybe for hmm, maybe for login. Okay, right? So you want to create a login button, right? So wherein if you want to put it somewhere in the top left, right? So top left corner, right? So you want to put it there, you can put it. So like this, what we can do, create some, we can create some pages so that people can see, right? So people can see what are all the page looks like, right? So what are, because make sure when we are preparing, especially pages and all, because this is nothing to do with logic, okay? First of all, because this is not a logic we are preparing. So means business logic, and I'm talking about in the context of code, okay? Because this is nothing to do with code, what we are preparing, we are doing it. This is to create some wireframes and mockups for a visualization purpose, how should it looks like, etc. All that. So for that purpose, for example, right, so login, you want to put it in the top left corner of it. Now, for example, if you want to write any, if you want to build any assets, right, so or else if you want to provide any, this is not required because these are all, for example, you want to put some emblem or you want to put some, wherein let me, right, so for example, this here we are putting here the login, right, so you want to put some image, okay, right, so image relating to the particular company where it pin belongs to, right, so if you want to copy any image and all, you can copy it and you can paste it. For example, this was the image, for example. So if you want, you can image, you can post the image and you can keep it. So this is all for the image purposes, etc. Next, in context to that buttons, for example, if you want to create multiple bar buttons, okay, button bar you want to, because this is a common option we use these buttons, right? So at the same time, even check boxes, okay. At the same time, these are the major ones. These are not on and off is not required for this one. I'm saying, okay, on and off is not required. So enable or disable you can see. For example, you have multiple options where you want to disable some options. The best example for you to understand, make you to understand very simple, I'll give you. For example, if you when we created Jira projects and all, if you remember, I have shown you when we went into project settings, we can go for enable and disable option. So where if you are enabling automatically, whatever the options you want to see, either it can be release or something, you can see. If you have disabled it automatically, you cannot see anything of that. Right? Understood? Everyone. Bobby, Ranveer. Gurpreet?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So that part is required, because for here it is not related, but I'm giving an example to you. So for example, I don't want to use timeline, right? So I can disable it, or else if I want to have some release planning kind of option is required. So I can enable it. I can enable it. This is how generally these options on and off options or buttons, right? So radio buttons, all these things are being used.